Hello and welcome to Narrative4Health, part of the Narrative for Change programme. Let me give you a bit of background. I was employed by the British Heart Foundation to develop training for young people who had congenital heart disease. A lot of these young people had been wrapped up in cotton wool by their parents and labelled by their peers and schoolmates. And part of the training was to enable them to pull away the labels and to give them the tools to narrate their own story, of which their condition was only a small part, as we later found out. Now, the young people were, I suppose, in the state of transition. They were slightly older and just about coming up to the age where they could go to medical appointments alone without their parents. In the past, they would have been suspended between their parents and medical practitioners. But now they could go by themselves and talk to consultants, etc. And many of these young people were feeling that they were experts in their self, but people were not listening to their story. And when they went to see the consultants, by all means, the consultants were experts in the condition that they had, but they often felt that they weren't being listened to. And what we wanted to explore was that overlap. So we started to develop a load of narrative-based exercises with the young people, whereby they externalised their narrative in their own letter A. And if you want to know more about those letter A's, look at the Narrative for Change animation. So the training had two end results, I suppose. So one was the direct training of the young people in effective communication, active listening, body language, and we worked alongside specialist nurses who gave them education around personal and sexual health issues. And that was for them directly to use when they went to see consultants. So they had techniques for being listened to. The second part of the training was really starting to identify the overarching themes that came out from the stories shared by the young people. And you have to remember that these young people had been down dark tunnels regarding mortality and pain. And the themes that came out were to do with scars, to do with the sense of being different, with the pain that they endured, or almost making sense of why them. So I took these overarching themes and I developed a fictional archetypal narrative that included them and used techniques such as rhythm and repetition and symbolism and metaphor. And then this archetype, this story, was used as a springboard in further training with young people. And by using it straight away, they had an immediate sense of recognition and could immediately start to work very safely with the emotional impact. The story was reviewed by young people and it was used in training, and many of the young people actually became training peers. In addition to this, you might want to look at something called The Small Creature, which is a bereavement resource that I wrote for very young children for the British Heart Foundation. I think it's the thing I'm most proud of in all the work I've done. Go onto their website and search for Small Creature, and thank you very much for listening.